If this is one of those days, I'm really glad you're here. This is Kallaborate, where joy becomes your foundation. Not the loud kind of joy, but the kind you build, piece by piece, after life changes everything. I'm Francene, and I'm walking this with you. If you were here in the last episode, we talked about the days that feel heavy, the ones where just getting through a moment feels like enough. Today, we're stepping into something a little deeper, something that isn't always seen or fully understood. This episode is a little different. It's quieter, a little heavier, and more tender to say out loud. But it matters, because sometimes what we see on the outside isn't the full story. If any part of this already feels familiar, you're not alone in that. My daughter Kat, she had a presence about her, the kind where you could feel her even when she wasn't saying anything. There were moments where you could see her light, and moments where something in her felt far, far away. She mattered. She still matters. She is so much more than the way her story ended. Kat struggled with mental illness. And this is something I've come to understand over time. Because sometimes people think it's something you can see clearly, something obvious, something you can fix. But it didn't look like that. There were days where everything seemed okay. Conversations, laughter, normal moments. I remember sitting there, not knowing if I should say something or just sit with her. Then there were other moments where I could see it shift. Not always in what she said, but in what she didn't. A distance, a heaviness, like she was somewhere I couldn't reach. There was a chemical imbalance, something happening in her brain that made things feel heavier, more intense, more overwhelming than they would have for someone else. Not because she wasn't trying, but because it wasn't something she could just think her way out of. She fought for a long time, longer than people could see, longer than people understood, longer than most people would ever realize. Sometimes when someone is fighting like that, it doesn't always look like what we think it should. People didn't always see her fight. Just getting through a day can be a fight when your own mind won't give you a break. Sometimes just staying is its own kind of strength. It can look like quiet, distance, pulling away, or even looking okay. Mental illness doesn't always show up in ways people recognize. And that's what makes it so hard to understand. As her mom, I wanted to fix it. I wanted to take it away. I wanted to reach into whatever she was feeling and carry it for her. I remember trying to find the right words, the right way to reach her, thinking if I could just say it the right way, maybe it would shift something. Sometimes nothing changed. That's a kind of helpless that's hard to explain unless you've lived it. At the same time, there was this other layer, because she wasn't just my daughter. She was a mother too. There were moments where I would watch her with her child and see so much love there, which made it even harder to understand what she was carrying. After, there are questions, not loud ones, but quiet ones that linger, the kind that don't have clear answers, the kind that don't resolve. Sometimes they show up in small moments when everything gets quiet. A thought, a memory, a moment you wish you could go back to. In those moments, you might notice something small. The feeling of your hands resting in your lap. Your breath moving in and out. The quiet around you. Not changing anything. Just reminding you. You're still here. This is what I've come to understand. This wasn't about missing something. It wasn't about something that should have been done differently. It was about something she was carrying, something that didn't turn off, something she couldn't step away from. Maybe you're listening to this because you've loved someone who struggled. Or maybe you're the one who is struggling. Either way, I want you to hear this. It's not a lack of love or effort or strength. It's not something that gets fixed just because someone cares enough. Sometimes it's something happening beneath the surface in ways that don't match what the world expects. So if you've ever carried guilt around like this, wondering if you missed something, or could have done something differently, I want you to gently set some of that down, because not everything is yours to carry. She didn't lose because she was weak. She fought as long as she could in ways that weren't always visible, in ways that didn't always make sense from the outside. But fighting doesn't always look like winning. Sometimes fighting looks like getting through one more hour, one more day, one more moment. And that matters. Her story is not defined by how it ended. It's defined by how she lived and how she loved and how hard she fought while she was here. That kind of strength deserves to be seen. Even in something this hard, there is still a path forward. Not away from it, but through it. Joy is not something I lost. It's something I rebuilt. If you're carrying something that feels invisible, or loving someone who is, be gentle with yourself. Not everything is meant to be understood all at once. Some things are meant to be held with compassion first. I want to take just a moment to say her name. Kat, and my dad, Frank. They both still matter. Not just in memory, but in the way they changed me, and the way they still live in how I move through this world is my foundation. If there's someone you carry with you, you can say their name too. Maybe, if it feels right, you'll share them with me someday, because they still matter. Around here, we don't let their names disappear. If this was one of those moments when something felt familiar or maybe a little easier to understand, I'm really glad we found each other. This isn't about having all the answers. It's about learning how to hold what feels hard with a little more compassion. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the next step. We're going to keep walking through this, one conversation at a time. I see you. If you're rebuilding, one piece at a time, follow Kallaborate wherever you listen to podcasts and be part of the conversations ahead.